3 years ago, I was 18 years old, getting ready to graduate high school, excited, nervous, and really just ready to take on the world. The community that I grew up in, traditionally, most kids went straight to college or a university right after graduating high school. So I definitely felt the pressure when I decided to stay home. While I was in high school, my eyes were really opened to the need that there was and still is for young leaders. And more than just leaders, people that were willing to show up and walk alongside these kids. Because, man, high school is hard. And I was fortunate enough to have people in my life that were willing to do that. But I knew that a lot of the kids I went to school with didn't. Originally, my plan was to play football. Most people knew me as an athlete, and that's really all I saw myself as. But during the process of deciding what school I wanted to play at, I found out that my dad and uncles had this ministry geared specifically towards young people called Love Squared. And I went to them and kind of shared my heart, and I interned for them for the following year. My mentor and I started meeting in my living room with three guys: Sam Holloway, Johnny Crouch, and Kevin Townsend. You know, I knew Jesus started with a few, so that's what we decided to do. And really just trying to walk alongside these kids as best as we could. Over time, the group grew, and we were fortunate enough to have doors open and opportunities to go into the schools that they attended. Over the next year or so, we would start sponsoring football camps in our community. You know, we would show up and just encourage kids. One of the key things we believe as a ministry is meeting kids where they're at. And over the course of doing that, we started growing more traction, and people started to want to know more about what we did. And we were fortunate enough to have opportunities to share the mission of Love Squared with the world.
Back, and up until about a month ago, the largest audience I'd ever spoken in front of was my psychology class.
You know, the message was simple. Love Squared believes in loving God, loving people, and leading well, and teaching and sharing with kids what it looks like to do that. But deeper than that, what our partners have allowed us to do is rewrite and breathe life back into young people's stories. Whether you're a young person living on a rock in the middle of the Pacific Ocean called American Samoa, or a young man behind bars in the deserts of Arizona, to teen moms in Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm a part of a ministry called Love Squared. We'd like to give you a check for $10,000.
That's who Love Squared is for. And you know, sometimes I think back to that 18-year-old kid, and if you would have told him that we'd be in a position to have an internship program and bring in interns from across the world and go into places of poverty and meet needs and have a leadership program for kids in high school just like me, I would have probably told you that was the end goal. But now that we're here, it's more clear to me that we're just getting started. People ask me all the time, what is Love Squared? Who is Love Squared? Why Love Squared? And as this story has continued to write itself, I think the message is clear. Love Squared is a collection of people all around the world who are united by one goal and one purpose. That we believe the only way to change culture is by going after the hearts of young people who will create culture in the future. I want to thank our partners from all over the world who have given us this chance to retell people's stories. And so from the Sam Holloways and the Kevin Townsends, the Johnny Crouches, and thousands of more, thank you for changing people's lives, because you've changed mine.